Yes, I don't look like
No laughing.
And he was
This
like,
selfie lighting is so fucking good.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Amber, just in case you didn't know. I'm gonna do my intro, and whenever I point, you say your name.
Yes, ma'am. Am I allowed to answer phone? Like, Snapchat.
Oh no, the light died! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Oh my god, the camera's about to die too. This is what you call a bad experience. Alright, so this isn't gonna be a long video because my camera's about to die.
What the freak? I don't know if you guys know, so I'm not going to, just in case college, you know. Anyway.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name's Amber, just in case you didn't know, and today I'm joined with
Shelby. Grace.
And today we're going to be talking about our own personal paranormal experiences. And my phone vibrated.
So did mine too.
And my camera might die in the midst of this, so we might have to continue this at my house, which is a good time.
I mean, the light already died. I think that should be said first.
Yeah, the light died, so we're using our things. I mean, it was
Our
filming
things.
that entire time.
I think
Our phones.
our glow sticks.
Who wants to go first?
Our
Start
sparkles.
now. Alright, so who wants to go first? Should I?
I think you should. That's to scare me the most. Yeah.
I'll start with the least of the scariest ones. Alright, so. What the fuck are you doing? Alright, the cat!
I didn't think that through. Okay.
Okay. Little knowledge about me. My dad died whenever I was little. And I've always had like a good connection with him. But my upstairs is where he used to hang out the most, and upstairs is now where we keep like our treadmill, our elliptical, and everything like that. Oh my god, I hate all these cars. They're scaring the shit out of me.
That cat walks back by. I'm gonna pee my pants.
It's gray. There's a gray cat and they're scared of it.
What if it hops up on the car? Comes under and run. Bust directly through.
There's gonna be so many bloopers at the end of this video. I used to go upstairs to run my treadmill a lot until this happened because it scared the shit out of me. But I was running on the treadmill one night and I was up there alone. There wasn't a lot of lights. The only light up there was just like the one that was right above me on the treadmill.
Ceiling?
Yeah. Like right there above the treadmill.
Yeah.
And it like was barely lighting the room, but I could see into the bathroom because how it's set up. How it's set up, you walk in the door, here's the treadmill, and then you look over from the treadmill and there's a bathroom right there, and you can see the mirror and like half the toilet. So I was just like walking on the treadmill because I'm a lazy bitch and I don't run, and and I was like glancing over at the mirror and it started fogging up, and I was like, well, it was cold in here and I'm walking, so maybe it's just my body or something.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at it and I was like, that's really weird. And as I was looking at it, 3 stripes went across the mirror, just like it looked like fingers went down it. And we were just talking about it, and this happened probably 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago. And so at that time, this past year, he would have passed away 11 years ago. So 2 years ago would have made it 9. And she was saying it's a multiple of 3.
I don't know if that's the right word, so like, I don't want to be stupid, but like,
that's what it's called. Yeah,
3 times 9.
But I don't know what significance
so
3 has.
3 is like the haunting hour.
Like 3 is a haunting hour, yeah.
Like 3 o'clock in the morning is the most haunted hour. Like everything like that. I feel like it's fine though, honestly. But then
Like it's like everything comes in 3. Like the haunting hour is 3. Like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Like 3.
All these cars are scaring the shit out of me. And I literally just ran downstairs and told my mom. She was like, it was probably just like your body heat. And I was like, that doesn't fucking explain the stripes. Like, that's so weird. And I just remember when it happened, and it was just such a scary thing.
I hate looking out the window, but like I can't help it.
I just see like darkness.
And everyone says who they go into my upstairs. It's just like an uncomfortable.
I've
I've
been
always
up there.
thought you don't want to go up there.
I mean,
It's
It scares the shit out of me. I don't like going up there. I've been up there twice in the 9 years that we've been friends, and
Let's go with 3.
like I have such a weird feeling when I go up there. I just feel like someone's like on top of me, like on my shoulders.
I mean, I guess
It's always cold up there
It's
too.
freezing up there.
You go up there and
But,
it's
like, heat rises.
freezing.
it's hot.
If you turn on the AC to like, I don't know, 69, like it's like barely cold.
Anyway.
It's like barely cold, but you like,
Oh, no.
if you leave it on for too long, it'll freeze. Our AC will freeze up there and it breaks.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, you'll get the really bad ones I've experienced at the house, and then you'll get hers and hers, so. We probably don't have time to do 2 each because it's almost 10 minutes already.
I only have 2, so it's fine.
I mean, you realize how many bloopers we have? Yeah.
You're not even in the frame. I'm tired.
Mark. Oh no, it's about to die again.
How?
Hurry, tell a
Didn't
story,
you just...
tell a story.
But didn't you just put
Tell
on
a
the
story,
server that
tell
was
a
making
story, tell a
sense?
story, tell a story, tell a story, tell a story.
I thought Shelby was gonna go first.
I'm tired.
Just tell a story.
Put it on, Shelby.
Story time!
I was staying the night at my cousin's house one time, and for some reason she, like, always, like, since she was little, had just, like, this, like, I don't know, like, this connection with the other side, I guess. Oh, thank you for giving me the exposure that I need. You can't see me anymore. And I was staying the night at her house one time, and it was, like, late. And we were just sitting there, and we were laughing, playing, you know, having a grand old time. And she just stops and stares into the hallway, and I was like, what's up? Like, what? We're just chilling. What's wrong? What's happening? She goes, you don't see him? And I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, the red man. He's in the hallway. And I was like, I'm sorry. And little old Shelby said, I stood there, I was like, huh? She goes, he's gone now. He went downstairs. Oh, it was in the same house because the house.
Both of them scared sleep.
Yeah. My chores up the way so I can go to sleep. We were in the same house because the house was the most haunted place I've ever been in, and it was an old house, like original wood flooring and everything. So when you walked, everywhere creaked. Everywhere creaked. Like there was not one place in the house that you could walk and no one would hear you. Like everything was like loud. Like you heard everything that went on in the house. They had like 3 dogs too, so like anytime any noise would go on, they'd start barking too. So like just very loud house. And my uncle woke up in the middle of the night one time, and just out of nowhere, just woke up in the middle of the night. Nothing like woke him up, like no like loud noise or anything. He just woke up, and he walked into their kitchen, and all of their chairs were in the middle of the kitchen floor, away from the table and upside down. And nothing had, like, no noise went around, no dogs barked, nothing. So good night.
I do, but, like, I don't know which one. Oh, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna include names. Okay, so my mom dated this guy, and we'll say his name was Fred. Fred. So, my mom dated Fred, and Fred had a teenage daughter. Anyway, so Fred's house was, like, built around his pool. So whenever we were spending the night, me and my brother stayed in one room, and we had the TV that was in there, and we were watching Spider-Man. And the TV had a regular DVD player, so you'd have to get up, and then he didn't have the remote, so you'd have to do everything manually. So I was up, I don't want to say it was late, but it was like 10, so that was late for us getting to bed because we were younger. And so Mom had already put us in our bed, and like their room was on the other side of the house. We were in bed, and all 3 of us were like cuddled up because the bed was in the corner of the room, and then the TV was on the other side because the TV wasn't small, but the DVD, as I said, didn't have a remote. So for someone to rewind it, you'd have to like get up and go over to the room, or over to the other side of the room, and then it ended up rewinding halfway through the movie, playing, and then getting stuck on one scene over and over 3 times, and then it like fast forwarded to where it was before and stopped. And I like ran out of the hallway to where my mom's, like where he and my mom were staying, which I don't remember how I got there because I think I went across the pool and he had a pool cover, and so I like ran across the pool cover. Somebody was in one of the rooms. So I thought his daughter was there because she goes back and forth between him and his wife, I guess. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, that's just his daughter. But she was standing in the door, like, staring out into the pool. So I ran to his room, where my mom was, and I was, like, telling her about how I did that. She goes in the room, she looks at the TV. They look for the remote again, because they thought maybe it was, like, under the bed or something. And then I asked him the next morning, I was like, oh, and I didn't know, we'll say his daughter's name was Summer. I didn't know Summer was here. And he was like, she wasn't here, what do you mean? Like, you three and me and your mom were the only ones that were in the house last night. What are you talking about? I was like, then who was in the window waving at me? And he was like, what do you mean? I said, to get to the room, I ran across the pool, over the pool cover, and there was somebody waving at me in the window. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You must have just saw something. I was like, no, like somebody waved at me through the window. Like they were watching me as I ran over the pool cover.
Well, which one should I tell?
That one's more physical proof there.
Okay, so basically, alright, so right whenever I went to go tell my story, the camera died, so kind of look rough as shit on the phone, but it's okay. As I was saying, wow, that was my shirt falling off. Oof.
Great start.
The only people who live in my house are me and my mom and then my dog. Like, it's only me at the house. I'll sit in my room with my dog and I'll lock the door because I just feel safer with my door locked. You know, that's kind of like obvious, but it's the door to my room. And my door is like one of those things where you like push it in and it like doesn't push in unless the door is all the way closed, you know what I'm saying? And I was sitting in my room, I was watching some YouTube videos, and my door, I just heard it click, and like it had unlocked by itself, and then the door just like slowly opened, and then it just like stayed there for a minute and like kind of closed a little bit and then stopped. And so I was like, that's fucking weird. So I kind of, you know, I left my house for a little bit, and then I came back and where my mom got home, and I walked into my room, and I was sitting down for a minute, and like by the door there was like a moth flying. I don't know if you know this, but a moth is like a sign of death. Like wherever it's around, it means there's usually like something that's related to death around. I don't know how true that is, but I've always heard that, and that kind of creeped me the fuck out. And I also didn't mention this before my first story I told about the upstairs. Whenever
Oh, I should have done that first. Whatever.
the night before that happened upstairs, I had a dream about my dad where we were all just like sitting at the table, like me, my sister, and my mom, and we were all sitting at the dinner table, and then we heard like the doorbell ring, and then me and my sister ran and answered it, and it was my dad. And it was like we were all in like our current ages, so I would have been like, well, actually I seemed like, because my sister was taller than me, so I was probably like 11 or so, and then Ashley would have been 14, and it was like my dad had risen from the dead. And then the next night is whenever the 3 stripes happened on the mirror after it fogged, which I think is really weird. But yeah.
So, my great grandma she wasn't like, she didn't have Alzheimer's, but she had like dementia because she was getting up in age and she wasn't doing so well. So we had hospice called in. So she would be in her room and she had like bed rails and whatnot, and she was around like full-time home care. And they had a baby monitor in the room, so like just in case she got up or tried to get up or anything or needed help in the middle of the night. So I would always go in there whenever my mom would come over to see my grandma, and I would go in there and sit and talk with her for hours, and like as long as we were there I'd be in there with her. And so my grandma and my mom were sitting on the back porch talking, and they obviously had the other part of the monitor as they always did. So I was talking to my grandma, and she was like, you know, I woke up from a nap today and I didn't think I was gonna wake up. And I was like, okay, did you think it was like the next day or something? She was like, no, I just didn't think I would wake up. Like I didn't think I'd ever wake up again. I was like, okay, well, I'm glad you did. She was like, yeah, you know, I've been thinking a lot recently. And I was like, oh, really? About what? Or she said, yeah, I don't know what I've been thinking about, but it's wild. I just really didn't think I was going to wake up. I was like, well, I guess God has other plans. And she goes, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to see him. I said, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know if I'm going to see him. Like, I don't know if he's real. I don't know if there is a heaven. I don't know if I'm going there. It's like, I just don't know if I'm going there or whatever. And I was like, well, I mean, you're a great person, like you've always gone to church. I mean, that doesn't always mean anything, but like she was genuinely such a sweet person, it didn't really make any sense. And so I was just like, okay. She's like, I don't know, that just might be some crazy talk. And then I got a text from my mom, and she was like, what happened to the baby monitor? I was like, what do you mean? She was like, it's not going, like it's not on, like it turned off like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. And I was like, And so I said something audible, and I was like, that's weird. And she goes, oh, well, never mind, I heard you, it's back on, I guess. So it turned off from the time that we started having that conversation about her waking up from that nap to the time that my mom texted me saying that it was off. And nobody touched it because it was on the other side of her bed on the dresser, She obviously didn't touch it. I was sitting on the other side of her bed, and it just, that whole conversation was the only thing that was left out. It was like, not the best time, but anyways.
It's weird because all of my, like, most of my paranormal experiences have happened in my own house. That fucking air freshener is going to be the death of me.
Oh my god.
Jesus fucking Christ. This will help us stay up all night.
Indeed, that air freshener's gonna go off and we're like, I'm sorry. We bought face masks and not even use them.
I mean, we could.
I mean, I'm not trying to sleep, so.
I'm not trying to sleep either.
Like, I can go home and crash afterwards. I'm actually supposed to go to a gun range tomorrow.
A what?
A gun range. And shoot.
I'm trying to go top golf. Why are we filming this conversation?
I don't know.
Let's get over
Just
here
wanna
and Shelby
never
can be in the
stop.
outro. Alright, so that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe down below. That was really exposed. There we go. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. As you can tell, I don't have upload date. Why are we so exposed? I hate iPhones. I don't have
Also.
an upload date right now, but I feel like that's okay because I'm just uploading where the fuck I want. So, I'm sorry, Terry. Oh yes, if you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe down below. I already said all that shit, and I'll see you next time. That's it. 3. Bye.
I didn't know I was supposed to do that.
Why do none of my friends watch my videos? The rest of Brunswick does. Bye.
67.
Oh my. There we go.
I was sitting.
Just wait for its focus.
I'd have to like lean forward.
It's really bright on my
I'm
face.
sure Amber's not going to be sitting like this the entire time.